And we are live. So, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to another game for this life, set on the Sept of the Hearth's Fire in beautiful Duluth, Minnesota, where nobody gets to sleep nicely today. So, Charlotte, after her own particular set of just so heartwarming dreams, has been about her usual training, been keeping Decept in light of the whole wartime shenanigans, and And let's face it, honestly, after she's gotten through her morning shit, we'll probably plunk down outside the public housing because it's kind of the place to be to see people coming and going and try to assess what's going on. It'll give her a place to touch base with the people that she's connected to and a chance to hopefully damn it, guys. And a chance to hopefully get an eye on anyone else and see if anyone else is acting especially strange. We know there's at least 2 cases of shenanigans besides her own, but she's not necessarily going to assume that everyone else is having issues. So yeah, she'll plunk out there with her caffee.
Meanwhile, I know how to kick this off. Honey, look, I understand that I woke up screaming, but it's fine, alright? Like, it'll be okay. It's just a dream. It's no big deal. I'll manage it.
Annie is skeptical, but she leaves you alone. It's that type of vibe. It's like I'm not gonna push because you're agreeing. She's a bit nervous for that, but you get this. The eye and hour of it. You will talk about this later, one way or another. It's that type of thing.
Raimi now knows that look and feels it in his bones. I gotta head out and do the rounds. All right, I'll be back for dinner though.
The eye narrow. Oh, you know the eye narrow.
And Raimi, like many a Get a Fenris husband, just rides work out the door to get away from this. And he gets out the door and says, whew. Oh, dodge that bullet, Matrix style. Hello, Raya.
Yep. Charlotte kind of glances up from her iPad, quirking a brow.
And how are you today?
Utterly delightful.
As Raimi switches over to the pack link. I know things have been hectic the last couple days, but I did need to update you on something.
Hmm.
So, other than what I discovered the night of that ambush, I gained a lot of very deep and penetrating insights into how they're working the drug trade around here. Names, people to associate them with, their roles, that kind of thing. Now, the full report did get passed to the worm foe, but I don't want you getting caught unawares if he makes mention of it.
Yep. She will, as he's speaking via the link, will, give a tap to the arm of the chair next to hers, kind of beckon him over to sit down and make up for the silent pause physically, and we'll switch things around on the iPad, pull up a document, kind of glance over and lift the brows like, I'm waiting.
Alright, hand it over, I'll start typing.
Charlotte proceeds to go into shock because anyone knows how to use an iPad that isn't a glasswalker, and hands it over.
Do you have like a connected keyboard? I fucking hate touchscreens.
There's finally that little frown, though she fishes around in her bag and pulls out the little wireless thing.
Thank you. I do appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, it is good to feel appreciated.
He flexes his wrists, cracks his knuckles. Okay, writing. And starts typing away. I'm not going to go ad nauseum on it, but it's the same report he gave Anton, give or take. Albeit he doesn't do things that would lead someone to knowing who Chrissy is or anything about her. He just gives the raw information.
Yep. She'll glance over periodically, but seeing as he has the iPad now and she doesn't have anything to stare at, we'll be glancing around to see who's coming and going. All right, one of you is going to have to give up.
Revealing himself after a few days, of trying not to be seen. Wilhelm, is finally seen and approaching Charlotte nonetheless.
And
Yes,
He gives,
please.
yeah, head held high, got a Fenris goodness, waves to Charlotte.
and Sylvie is not far behind him.
Yep, they'll both get the classic little like bob of a nod, acknowledgement, as it were.
Oh, and since we are on Sept, Wilhelm will, upon her seeing him, show some throat from a far off distance. And of course, as he gets closer, he will, of course, give her a bow.
Sylvie will drop down to one knee.
Oh, is that what Sylvie's gonna do? Well then, Wilhelm looks over at her, and then he's gonna drop to both knees and bow in front of her,
There's
giving Sylvie like a challenging look, like,
Sylvie just looks at him confused.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. There's like the little moment of glancing back and forth. Rami will get a little elbow nudge, like, "Tell me you're seeing this." Essentially, as there's competitive submission going on.
Randy briefly looks up, like, what the? That's all you, Raya, and goes back to typing his report.
A shadow falls over the competitive submission as a very large, blonde-headed man comes up and just crosses his arms, staring down at the submission. He doesn't seem to be very approving through his one eye and his eye patch.
There's a glance for Bastion.
"Hello, Raya. How are you today?"
Wilhelm, at the risk of ruining your fun, you don't have to outsubmit the Omega.
"Very well. Thank you, Raya." And of course, Wilhelm will, stand up.
She'll be gesturing both of them up, like, well, that was interesting, but okay. And yeah, is gesturing them up. I was glancing to see how, like, what all Balian's gonna do. It's been a hot minute, but she's still got rank enough that she figures he's gonna at least get, I don't know, bow to chin tip. Let's see what his creative stylings are, as it were.
Bastion, not Balian.
Sorry. Shut up! I will forever mix up their names. That'll learn you.
Bastion, yeah. Balianston. Bastion waits for the competition to clear, and then will turn the head to the side, exposing his throat. Eyes respectfully on Charlotte's chest, or he could be just like checking out her cleavage.
I mean, anyone's guess, really. But all the same, he gets the same, like, dismissive gesture of, like, you good.
He'll smile, nod his thanks, and then kind of give the other two a dismissive, totally a dismissive look. And then just kind of look around the group, noting that she is literally the only one that he knows.
Will you two please get up before the Claustons eat you?
Sylvie will get up.
Thank you.
Wilhelm has been up for a minute, but he will, of course. I mean, she gets up. Wilhelm offers her a hand if she'll take it.
Yeah, she'll take it.
Yeah, there will be a beckoning all around, though Bastion will get, a glance and a pat at the seat on her other side, because, hello, person I haven't seen in ages and who only knows me at this point.
Bastion will, there will be a definite eyebrow raising at the familiar gesture of patting a seat beside her. But after a moment of definite judgment in Silverfang, he will make his way over and have a seat, crossing his legs.
Good to see you again.
And you, Raya.
Dare I ask what you've been up to all this time?
Well, the duties of the tribe are never done. And he just smiles.
Fair enough.
I hear congratulations are in order.
Of which kind?
You have created a pack, have you not?
I have indeed.
Then indeed, congratulations.
We did successfully earn Harrier's patronage.
An eyebrow raises again. Harrier, is it?
It is.
Interesting. He looks around, noting absolutely zero Silverfang pure breed around him.
She'll gesture offhand while sadly Alistair isn't here. He is serving as my beta. The Fiona, big red beard. Kind of glances over like the I hope you've seen him. I don't she doesn't know how long he's been back walking around the park or any of that.
I believe I recall.
Ah, good. Melanthe is still a packmate, and Raimi here, gesturing to him, is a packmate. I suppose, in light of how long you've been gone, it's best to do introductions all around.
Indeed. He'll stand because he's a Silverfang and he's going to take the lead. I am Bastion Campbell, known as Harrier's Gavel to the nation. Silverfang. Hamid. Cleith. And he'll take a moment to meet the gaze of any Cleith that's going to dare look him in the eye. Literally in the eye.
Hmm. Well, is he wearing those sunglasses?
No, he'll take off the sunglasses before he introduces himself. He is missing his left eye.
So, looking at his missing left eye, Wilhelm is going to introduce himself. Cleith of Tribe Fenrir, Wilhelm Crow, Ragabash. Pleasure to meet you. How'd you lose that eye? Surely
He'll,
there's a story behind it.
I'm no Galliard.
Very well. Keep your secrets.
And done. Here you go, Charlotte.
Yep, she just holds her hand out, takes the iPad back, starts browsing over it, keeping an ear on the rest of them, make sure everyone's behaving.
Raimi will stand up. Raimi Olsen, deeded Sidewinder. Cleith Hamid Ragabash of the Good of Fenris.
There's an almost imperceptible nod at the introduction.
And almost as if she was deliberately waiting to go last. Sylvie Iverson, known to the nation as Blood on Snow, crescent moon of the Get of Fenris, born on 2 legs. And Cleith, Omega of my pack.
There is no nod towards. As soon as she says Omega, he blatantly turns away from her.
Yeah, that's fair.
After that, everyone introduces themselves. He'll sit back down beside Charlotte. Place his sunglasses back on.
And as people have done their bits, and I imagine there's places all around, like she's snagged like one of the big round porch table type situations. Does spare a glance over for Balian. Have you been fully brought up to speed on what's happening? I don't know how far or close you've been.
I am aware of the events of the Sept regarding the missing city and the war, if that's what you're recalling. Or referring to.
It is.
More of a town, really.
Is. Damn it. I will eventually say the right name.
According to the news, Sunnydale's becoming a popular topic.
I imagine it is. And while she's sitting there with the iPad, why not? She'll check out what information there is on this pending documentary. IMDb that shit. I don't know.
Perception investigation.
Key. Let me pull up my dats. Oh, that's 3 successes, unless the 10's gonna pop for some reason.
It looks like it's been funded out of the actual, like, probably one of the bigger producer companies. It looks like it's struggled to get a bit of funding, but whoever this guy is, he's got sizable connections to get it funded that quickly and that fast. Looks like he's obviously throwing around a lot of weight to get it properly done.
So not throwing around money, throwing around weight and connections.
Yes.
Is there any mention in any of the articles of like who he's gone through to get connections to bigger people?
Yes. One name. One big name.
Okay.
Damien Prince.
Let me pull up my thingy. Said Damien Prince.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she will be scrolling through in regards to that. Looks like, well, this guy's got more influence than he's got money, which is both good and bad, and is going through, kind of squints, Damien Prince to get a hold of the funding and the production that he needs.
I still find it a little odd that he's choosing to focus on a relatively new phenomena,
Well,
especially in some place that obscure.
I mean, if you're up with all the people who are into modern ghost stories and all that, being the first one in, probably going to get you the best. Oh, Lord, so much going on. All right, let me first roll intelligence. Unless that 10's going to pop, it's not going to. It's either popping or I got nothing.
What's your specialty?
So many tabs. Intelligence specialty, lateral problem solving.
No.
The question here is whether or not this is going to prove a threat to the Veil. Yes?
Well, from what I understand about the problem, there's still danger in that area, right? So if a documentary filmmaker goes missing, or if anyone of note goes missing there, He'll draw attention, and that would threaten the veil. Yeah.
Given
And
what? Oh, go
no,
ahead,
no, no,
Rhea. I did not mean to interrupt.
no offense taken. Uh, anyone like me is gonna want to investigate that place. It's new, it's exciting, it's out of the ordinary. Now, who's this Damien Prince guy?
That's a very good question, as she's essentially just Googling him to see what pops up.
He is very wealthy. Actually, check your notes, Katie. You did this before.
Oh boy.
You should have notes on him already.
Let me look and see what I've got. Of course it won't be there. Alright. Where are my objectives? The real question of the day. But yeah, while she is pulling that up, glancing over, any footage that leaks, almost inevitably a veil breach, people disappearing and calling more attention to the place. Almost inevitably a veil breach. I'd be surprised if we haven't already lost a couple urban explorers out there.
And any more who come would be in significant danger. And might just make the problems out there worse.
If there's something that I've learned about the authorities, should an entire town disappear, someone is going to be dumb enough to go and look and see why.
You do bring up a good point. Kind of surprised something hadn't happened earlier.
Oh, god damn it. Yeah, she
Maybe.
finally pauses her scrolling as she Googles through and finally, like, I don't know, sees a picture of the guy or sees a connection. The guy he's going through is big and tied to something else I was checking into.
That being,
Did you hear about Gleason's logging company? She glanced over.
no.
The first trip that we took up to Wolfsmaw that established our alliance, we were investigating logging issues. And the problem was not only the logging itself up in the wilds where there were talons, get, Wendigo, furies, which was problem enough, but they were also releasing banes in the process. That was all tied to Gleason's logging company. Gleason's logging company is linked to Endron Oil.
Oh,
And Damien Prince is one of the leading figures in Endron Oil and responsible for similar issues with other similar affiliate companies.
that's a problem.
Yes, yes, it is.
A silver flask appears from inside Bastion's jacket. He shakes his head and takes a long drink.
Right, if I mind.
Please do.
This does seem like a how do I put this? I understand we're at war and there are many things on the table, but this does seem like a worm foe level issue. Does it not?
It is something that I should bring to him as a case, but in the meantime, hopefully we don't have to aim that high to cut this guy off and just keep him from making that outing in the first place.
Yes. Regardless, he should probably know about it. Whatever we do.
Oh, he will.
Mm.
As Charlotte opens a new document on her iPad and starts referencing between her old notes and the new document and the articles that she just pulled up. Let me double check the name of this guy because I don't want to mess up everything. Oh, for the love of God. Oh, no, this man is David Christopher Hughes. And she kind of like, as she's fiddling through, do either of these names ring a bell with anyone? Hughes, Prince? Any names they might, by families they might be affiliated with? Anything that would explain why they're taking so much interest?
I'll roll for it.
Yep, give other people a chance to roll for stuff while I'm compiling a report.
Oh, this is purely conjecture, but should these entities be of the worm, then they would likely take interest for their own purposes in what we encountered in Sunnydale.
Considering that it does kind of, involve the worm on a huge scale, I would imagine so.
And there
And if
you
they're
have it.
if they're really interested for their own purposes, stopping him won't fix the problem.
No, it would be a stopgap. It would be a band-aid.
But it might buy us time.
Which is important.
That's what I was thinking.
Bastion gets a finger gun. Like, yes, exactly.
If anything, they're likely sending this man in for the same reason that we go poking around to experiment.
Or at least enabling him to go in when he already wants to.
Mighty convenient.
Does Mr. Hughes have any sort of history online on making documentaries of any particular
Yeah.
interest?
Documentaries on urban legends, all that sort of stuff. Started out making, stuff on like famous cases and all that type of shit. But mainly he's kind of garnered into the the whole urban legend style thing. It's kind of evolved essentially. It gradually started out as like a missing persons report, and it's turned into this. Like you can tell, he's got like a number of impressive, ones. Like you probably would have heard of one or two of the documents. Go, oh, I watched that one. That was really good. You know what I mean?
Here's a question: if I look back over his history of I guess his video biography, do any of the others hit on things that are known like hotspots for the nation? Like, I don't know, like Staten Island. Everyone knows that's an issue. Everyone
Yes,
knows certain
Staten Island does come up once, but it's mainly to do with the mental hospital that was close around that area. And some of the urban myths around Cropsey, which was a big thing around Staten Island. It's one of the big urban things around Staten Island. But there is one or two, but it wouldn't be anything like this is totally part. You know what I mean? It's you could jump to that conclusion, but then again, if he's, you know what I mean, you're not sure. But Staten Island does kind of buzz up at least once.
All right, things like that. Things like our old asylum that was hashtag abandoned.
Yes, that does get mentioned, and that does get mentioned 3 times because he did a 3-part series on it and why it was closed down, and you know what I mean, all that shit.
So I guess the other question is, looking into those, did Mr. Prince fund any of them as well?
Mr. Prince funded all 3. He was, in fact, he has funded the most recent, the last 4 years of his work. He's been working at this for over 25 plus years. And since Mr. Prince's influence, you can tell the quality, not because of what the skill, in terms of just the equipment he has gotten better. Like everyone has said it, he's obviously gotten more studio budget. You know what I mean? All that type of shit.
Yeah, Charlotte will be sharing all this as she's figuring it out, as she's putting it all together. And conveniently, he's worked with Mr. Prince for the last 4 years, which explains why his documentaries have gotten better. And I didn't even realize that he did a 3-part series on our old Nest site. And she actually will point that out to Balian because
Bastion.
Bastion. God damn it, B name with the same number of syllables. God damn it,
Basilian.
Bastion.
Bastion. she'll point that out to him. Actually, like letting him see the pictures that are affiliated with the documentary.
It's a
This
Scooby.
is-
It's a Scooby Doo episode.
It's a Scooby Doo episode that leads back to one of the larger nesting points for the pack that we were battling out in the city.
You missed my point, Raya. If you make people afraid of a thing, they will stay away from a thing. He's fostering these urban legends in these places that the worm has taken hold to keep the humans away. Look at all the places. He's done one of these documentaries and it's become. And he kind of does that little shaky hand thing, semi-famous for doing so. He's keeping the humans away from places that are interesting to the worm.
You mean to say they're using him as a smokescreen?
Indeed. Obviously, if people disappear from a place, it gives that place a certain power, whether it's true power or in the mind.
That's true, and well, I'm sure it will attract some amateur ghost hunters. Those kinds of people disappearing just kind of reinforces the point, doesn't it?
What are the odds that he's an unwitting pawn?
Unwitting? Shrugs. Anyone's guess. Won't know unless someone can get close enough to, I don't know, see if he's tainted.
How long have they been working together?
4 years, it looks like. Mr. Prince started funding his stuff 4 years ago. As she's like scrolling through IMDb.
He'll turn and look over at Raimi and say, exponentially small.
Very well. Hmm.
Funny thing
I
about
have to.
funny thing about worm taint, you don't have to be cognizant of it to be of it.
Well, the immediate temptation is to just kill him.
He is a public figure, though.
Mm-hmm. And
Mm,
truth be told, him trying to continue his documentaries in other places also gives us red flags for where we might need to show interest, especially if he's doing it for that reason. But we do need to do something about him going to Sunnydale. Because if he even accidentally catches something supernatural, which is almost inevitable considering the state that place is in.
then it won't matter whether he becomes a popsicle or not.
No, it won't.
Bastion kind of rubs his chin in that kind of thinking manner. There's something to be said for using him like a pigeon in a coal mine. Letting us know where the stink is, even though we can't smell it.
On the other hand, wherever he goes, our enemies will have knowledge of it.
True, but there is the off chance that there will be times that they have knowledge that we don't.
Mm.
Canary isn't a bad thing. He's a public figure. Having him murdered is not exactly the quietest way to go about it, especially when we can do things like ensure that the roads in are under construction and not drivable, or do something about his funding getting wired wrong so that he can't get it there, fucking up his schedule so he doesn't have his team. People do so many things digitally these days, it's the damnedest thing.
Of course, all
Also-
of this is moot until we receive our priorities from the worm foe.
Obviously. But being able to bring him a good case and a plan of action is better than bringing him a series of facts. A proposed solution is hardly a bad thing.
Hmm.
All right.
Is there a time frame given for when he's looking to begin filming, Raya?
They're doing shots in Duluth at the minute. You reckon he's probably gonna do probably stuff in Duluth and then maybe move up to Slingdown next month. Obviously, doing some documentaries do the local area. So Duluth is the big city and Sunningdale is a small town. So he probably wants to try gather as much around here and probably is staying here, meeting up with some people, a production team, and all that. It's probably they're doing the initial groundwork phase.
Yeah, it's one of those things where she looks at it and goes, he is already here to the point where there's a bunch of Reddits about how people are going to be extras and make sure that they show up on filming sites so that they can be on TV. The little stiff smile of, oh boy, as she's scrolling through a Reddit thread.
Which is just ducky as we butcher each other in the streets.
Isn't it just?
Does that mean you know where the filming sites are?
No, there's popular theory. She'll actually skim through and see if any of these have been officially released, or it's people just assuming that based on the pattern of his documentaries, there's any sort of predictions, etc.
They reckon he'll do the filming at the end of at the start, like midway through next month.
In Duluth?
Duluth, he'll probably be here for another. Yeah, he'll probably stay here for another 2 weeks, and then mid-month he'll probably head up to Sunningdale.
All right. Is there filming schedule / casting call type things for extras?
Not yet. News is only recently brokered. He might be dropping that in the next 1 or 2 days.
Nothing confirmed yet.
But you know it's coming. It's just it'll be around soon. It's that type of shit.
No confirmed filming sites. Not yet. Probably drop in the next day or two. Which is something we'll have to keep in mind if we're going to keep up what we're doing. And she is periodically glancing around at people, gauging responses, gauging reactions, prompting with glances for input, etc.
Bastion has pulled out an iPhone and is looking at. It looks like his email.
Situation normal.
Charlotte Raya, how do you know about Damien Prince?
I was involved in the Leeson's Logging Company incident. I did a good amount of research on it.
But you didn't have any direct contact with him or
No, of course not.
anyone in the business.
Like, there's kind of a thoughtful pause. Not with Endron specifically, no. I dealt with Gleason employees. I dealt with, let me look up the name of that group. I ended up looking up a lot of information on KDH. And let me check and see if that is the. KDH was the. That's a big. Oh, yep. Dealt with, I'm pretty sure, what were KDH employees.
There's a secondary matter I'd like you to throw in when it comes to the wormfo.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my report made it to him, but several kinfolk were targeted. I would feel better if I knew for a fact, and barring it actually having happened, would be able to inform people they're connected to that their own kin were targeted.
There's a moment and a blink. Say again?
It's in my report, but when it comes to our clashing with St. Cloud, several kinfolk in particular were targeted in a very detailed manner. Now, the Wormfoe's business is the Wormfoe's business, but there is a part of me that would maybe like the guru to be aware.
Of course.
If he's already done it, fine. If he doesn't want me running around, also fine. I just want a definitive yes or no.
I'll inquire.
Thank you.
Bastion looks very uncomfortable. Very quickly, suddenly looking at a picture.
There's a glance across.
He looks over at Charlotte, kind of out of the corner of his eye. Is there a Cubon sept named James?
James, let me think.
Yes. May I ask why?
He'll bring
Oh,
up
fuck. Sunshine. It occurs to Raimi, he's been calling James Sunshine for so long.
he'll bring up a what looks like a copy of a police report. From what I've been able to ascertain, there's been only one survivor of Sunnydale. James Vinland. Late teens, early 20s. Last seen on the outskirts of Sunnydale. His most recent sighting is in the town of Duluth, Minnesota, approximately 2 weeks ago.
May I have a copy of that report?
And Raya, if I might, can I just borrow Bastion to go speak with the den mother?
The dead mother knows where he was found.
Bastion will, you said you have an iPad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bastion will just airdrop you.
That'll work. Bloop. So yeah, she snags it. But a full report is probably not the worst idea. No, go right ahead.
All right. I'll lead you on, Bastion.
Bastion just nods and stands up, and he'll kind of give Charlotte a buy your leave type nod and then head off behind.
And he'll look at Bastion as he's walking. So we're about to speak to either Lena Trimbuson, Adrian Ragabash of the Geta Fenris, or Junkyard, Adrian Philodux of the Children of Gaia, whichever we find first.
I see.
I'm forward with you. I have a very particular interest in this. Um, James has been a good student, both to me and a late friend of mine.
Seems to me that an especially good student wouldn't wander off.
This must have been very early in his fosterage. The details about his first change and the incidents that led him here are something of a blank. The young man's memory isn't what it used to be.
All right, you can totally see Lena there. It's not far walk from where you guys are. Actually, you see her probably. She probably. You actually see some of the cubs themselves being set off on tasks and stuff like that. Sunshine isn't there. He's probably working with the theurge just because he is theurge. But just see her, just as Evelyn and the blue purple haired girl for Bastion's case, and a woman that reeks, a little one that reeks of Fianna pure breed runs off. Um. Um. And you see Lena standing there, pretty calmly. She just folds her arms watching, and she'll look over, sees the two of you approaching, with the kind of like, oh, people are coming towards me.
Yeah, Rami will flag her down. Raya, a moment.
Sure, what is it?
It's nothing that he did, but we've come across something interesting concerning James. And he looks to Bastion. Can you tell her what you told me?
Bastion nods and smiles. And Raya, I've been looking into the incident in Sunnydale, and I've discovered that one of your charges, a James Vinland, is the subject of a police report. Apparently he's the sole survivor of the incident in Sunnydale.
I see. We did find him, out further south of that location, but they found him wandering, which licks her lips. We've been trying to trace where he's from, but he has no discernible pure breed of any kind, only his connection spiritually, so he has no memory of what happened to him. Whatever went on in Sunningdale obviously triggered something. And are the police actively looking for them?
It's entirely
don't know, Raya.
It's entirely possible, though.
No, taking the matter seriously. I did have the Cubs doing a recent activity near the city boundaries. Is there any police reports or anything of him being sighted?
In fact, there is. Approximately 2 weeks ago, he was sighted in Duluth.
She's her face, their lips go into a line, that kind of annoyed, like, damn it. Thank you for spotting that. I will have to talk to my fellow den parents and discuss what we can do. For now, if either of you can handle the matter, I will consider it a favor owed.
We're already looking into it, Raya.
It just gives a nod. If you can find out any more about him that might be able to piece back his memory together slowly, it could be a thing. I don't want to approach him with the topic of his name just yet. I could do with his rage, and it is unstable. But the more you find out, the more we can perhaps clue together what actually happened.
Raya, I hesitate to make this suggestion. However, considering the place of his origin and our unknowing of him, may I recommend that he be placed under observation until we ascertain whether or not he may unwittingly be a tool of the enemy.
It just gives a nod, like she's weighing the decision. It is not a bad suggestion. I will keep him in a secluded place for now, and I will have my den parent. Examine him. For now, what I will require from both of you is more information on him and more information on perhaps family, anything else. Hmm. If he is a tool of the enemy, an unknowing one, we have detected no discernible worm taint. However, his fresh change could be a cause of what went on. Hmm. Clicks her tongue. But I will keep him under observation for a while, and we'll see what we can garner.
We'll see what we can do about information, but our first priority is getting rid of this police report.
Nods. I will make sure that he is not involved in any of the more outdoors activities among the cubs. I will teach him privately.
Very well, Raya.
The teaching him privately comment raises a brow from Bastion that he struggles to hide for a second.
Just look over with, of course, she just strokes marks. I will make sure that he is well under observation. She just nods to herself as if, yeah, no, the Get just watches him as he's, watches around the horizon. See that you can get this done quickly. Find out what you can, bring it to me, and I'll make sure if there is any discernible problem, the right authorities will know and you will also know.
Very well, Raya.
Oh.
Mm.
Okay. Bastion will nod and just kind of look over and gracefully exit her presence.
She just nods and looks like she's actually setting about going to look for the other den parent.
Yeah, Raimi squirrels away. Slither. Squirrel snake.
Bastion will look over. Raimi, was it?
Yes.
Have you heard of this Vinland family? Are they anything of note in this area?
Not that I know about, but between us, there were certainly kinfolk in that town. Unfortunately, a family from your tribe was lost.
Not gonna even try to hide it. Doesn't surprise him at all. You can tell. He knew before you said it.
I did my best, but I couldn't.
Couldn't what?
I couldn't retrieve them.
You
All
saw it?
likelihood they're already gone.
Did you see them?
I sense the mark of where they live, the breeding it rubs off on places. I tried to enter the house and nearly lost my life doing it. That place, the people there, they aren't people anymore. Or the dead. One of the two.
I see.
This phenomena that apparently happened back in the Darklands has spread, and I fear it's consumed them as well.
Let's hope not.
That is the hope.
There's a definite undertone of "for your sake" when he says that.
Oh,
He'll head back over towards Charlotte.
All right. So yeah, Charlotte is in theory just wrapping up working on editing that report. We'll just scrub that. That's nice. Yep. There we go.
He'll approach and The den parent has requested that we deal with the police report issue. He'll just kind of give her a look like, I know you're already doing it, but, I have to tell you.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like she kind of glances up, clicks a few more things, and then finally looks up properly again. Kind of lowering the iPad. It's done.
The other part of the request is anything we can gather about him or his family.
I'll see what I can pull up as far as public reports go, and I can probably talk to the people they were affiliated with if he's part of the same family I'm thinking he is.
Bastion kind of gets a like almost like a thought on his face, and he looks over at Remy. Do you recall the physical address of the place we talked about earlier?
Yes,
Or at least-
I do. Yeah, Remy remembers that house real good. He is
Okay.
not happy.
All right, Torna.
Yo.
I'm gonna pull out my iPhone and use Google Foo to find out where James Vinland lived in that city, what his address was.
His address. Give me just a quick fucking intelligence computers. Let's see how well you pull this up.
Oh, okay. Good luck with that.
I mean, if nothing else, I've still got the report like in view.
Yeah,
If that
oh,
happens.
yeah. It
She
says
got-
report. Well, there you go. He was
Yeah.
in 34 Bart Street in Sunningdale.
Is
He
it
lived
the
with
same?
same. Remy recognized that address. He lived with two sisters and a single mom.
Bastion will turn the phone towards Remy. Is this the address?
That's the house.
Okay,
That's telling.
Bastion just lost an iPhone because he will crush it. And I need to make a rage roll.
Yep, you do that.
The Silverfang one. Yeah, no, that was a full family. But Sunshine lives like 5 doors down from them. That was.
Oh, whoops.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay,
Oh,
he
yeah,
lives.
Jesus. I thought you meant the Silverfang family. Oh boy.
No.
That's Sunshine's place. Sunshine is about 10 houses down.
Okay, but on the
They're
same
in.
street.
Mm-hmm,
So not the same address.
not the same address.
Okay.
But from the report, actually give me investigation roll, and you have a reduced diff because
Okay.
they're pretty close to each other. It wasn't a big town. So
Me or Katie?
you, because you know actually the name of the family.
Oh, okay. All right. You said investigation roll or perception investigation?
Yes, perception investigation.
Okay. How about 5? Is that okay? 5 6?
Yeah, it was 5. Yeah, perfect. No, that's exactly what I wanted. The Page family live 10 doors down. They're in 56 Oakfield Crescent. It is, proper. You recognize Silverfang money when you see it.
Mm-hmm.
Mother, father, 4 children, ranging from the ages of 15 to 22, and
Okay.
they were all missing. And that is the house, Ramjam. That is the house this time.
Okay.
But you recognize that it's a pretty nice fucking house.
Hmm. I'll look over at Ramy. So, what you felt in that house that you described to me, 10 houses down, we suddenly have the appearance of an unchanged cup.
That appears to be the case. The people in that town were made into things. They were weak to sunlight, I remember that. At least before they evolved,
Which probably explains his survival, all things considered.
all things considered.
And she will glance over for Bastion.
Single mother.
He has a significant attachment to Helios.
Very, very bright.
His nickname's Sunshine. But the writer is correct. This was likely why he lived.
Bastion kind of raises a hand and raises a finger. Single mother. Family still unaccounted for. Father not in the picture. Mother probably kin. He leaves a thumb up. Where's daddy?
It's a very good question, and one that there is a right to answer, though I know they've been doing their best to bring him into the fold slowly in light of the fact that he's, as far as I know, lost the better part of his memory prior. They're trying to see if they can gently provoke it back out as opposed to jarring him all at once.
Even if they did, there's no guarantee he knows who his father is.
Oh, there's a right that would tell us.
There is.
And I imagine the dead mother has every intention of using it when she deems the time is right. But we could suggest that perhaps sooner is better than later in light of current events.
I think that's a good suggestion, Raya.
Bastion, before I do lose you again, you showed great dedication to the pack prior to being called away. Before it was formed. Would you still like to be a part of it?
He seems stiffened for a minute. As if, like, trying not to show emotion, but he's in a room, so yeah, that's not going to happen.
I will pee and eat the poop out of you. Well, not quite tell me about your mother, but close.
Yeah, he's excited about joining, or excited for some reason, but hiding it.
Gotta be all fucking pro. So firm.
Well, hello, it's a Harrier thing, and he's Unbroken Hearth. Hello.
Yeah, he's like, oh my god!
Look, Arun's showing tension requires a little bit of a second glance.
Grab Charles by the shoulders. You don't even know what my D name is. You know what I mean?
She do. That's the beauty of it, but she
Like-
has to ask.
He's
It's
like
obviously like that little political. I have to have said that I asked.
he's like literally hiding a semi at this point. I would be honored to fight by your side again.
Well, let me quickly pull up the thing to see if.
And there's definitely a knowing glance when he says again.
Yup. Well, I'm just gonna. I'm just gonna put that there because that just simplifies the universe. Oh, this should be. Yeah, she'll put her iPad away. Getting herself up. Oh my god. It just kind of glances over. Step across with me. God damn it, guys.
What are you trying to do here?
I'm
Katie?
gonna take my time to step across. And lucky us, we have enough totem points for always with the pack.
Make sure you put that on
I
your
did.
on your gun. Good.
I
I was about to slap your ass.
nope, nope. It's on there. Look, I did it.
Fucking bad. Did you just recently do it?
Maybe we had the points.
I'll allow it this time, but
I won't. I wouldn't pull it for anything else. I'm literally pulling this for like.
Mm.
Can we please speed story along?
I know. I'm just.
I know. I'm a bad girl.
Uh-huh.
But we love you for it.
Yay.
There you go. I'll just get my Harrier theme.
So much Silverfang judgment, not I.
And honestly, I suppose all of them can flit across. If Harrier only wants to be heard in Link, he can. Or he can say things in front of everyone. But either way, Charlotte's stepping across.
Raimi will follow.
I mean, Sylvie is not going anywhere unless explicitly invited or told to. Oh shit! But wait. But oh damn! But they're oh god. Okay, yeah, no, she'll follow Raby.
There you go. Come on, Wilhelm.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Pack mentality, let's go. Yeah, Wilhelm follows.
So yeah,
Go.
when they all cross over, he's waiting there in the tree, staring at you all, looking. The level of Silverfang judgment is real. How much totem points have you put in him, by the way, Katie? Because this is determined his size.
He's at a total of 15.
He's
For
a
the
big boy. Did you put in his base stats?
I haven't. Right
Oh,
now it's
good.
base cost Link, and with the pack, there will be more sunk into his points, but I'm not going to do that in scene.
Okay, I'm going to say with 15 totem points, he's still a big boy. So it's a big fucking falcon type thing. So like, you know, even Remy's like, Jesus Christ, I don't remember it being that big staring down at me. Looks right into Remy's eyes as well, like, hey, I remember you.
This picture is literally the best zoom in picture I've ever had.
Sylvie's
But,
immediate reaction, seeing the giant Harrier, is to just get down on both knees and go belly up.
So what he'll do is he'll swoop down, makes that down so he lands on Charlotte's shoulders, the talons dig in right into her shoulder at that perch. But not like trying to like demean her or anything. It's no, I'm at your shoulder, you're the alpha of the pack. Look proud, woman, Jesus. So he's looking at Remy, looks at Wilhelm and Sylvie probably flop down to the ground. We'll look at Bastion, who probably takes a much more prouder stance. Eyes blink once or twice and looks at Charlotte. You say, you know, in his voice, because fuck it, we're speaking English in this. Who is the one you have chosen?
And she will gesture, and I will click on him so I can remember the fucking last name. Bastion Campbell. Known to the nation as Harrier's Gavel. Waits for the staring to intensify.
It does. No, he just stares, blinks one or twice. It's like he's waiting. He's patiently waiting.
He has long since proven his intentions and his willingness to give to the pack. He has proven his willingness to do his part. I would like to have him among us, and he is willing to be among us. One might even say eager. He did give his eye to the pack.
Do you say that to Harrier?
Yes, actually, she will. Fuck it. Let's just do the whole thing. Why not? Because assuming that spirits know everything makes a certain amount of sense. But, you know, he is...
Yeah, the sunglasses didn't make the trip, so he's got the big old nasty scarred eye sitting there.
He has given his eye for this pack. He's lost kinfolk for this pack.
Nods sagely. Gives you a look as if he is waiting for you to be like gives you a look. Are you done?
Yep. She just makes that little nod of, and that is what I have to say. Sage nod. Because if you don't cue Harrier, he will wait the full fucking 5 minutes.
He'll look at Remy as if you need to say anything, buddy. I've got 5 minutes here. That type of stare.
Raimi don't. Raimi's still all traumatized and shit. That bird
Doesn't
fucked him
acknowledge.
up inside.
doesn't acknowledge the truth because they're not members of the pack and therefore are lesser beings. He'll look Bastion up and down. Eyes click and click. Stares at the one missing eye. Is that all you will sacrifice, or will you give more? If necessary.
Bastion kind of fixes Harrier with his one good eye. Of course, not meeting him in the eye. As all my life is for the nation, and therefore for the pack. All I have. All I am. All I will be.
Even your secret.
He's in a ruin. He can't hide it. The eyebrow raises.
This Dyer just fucking stares at you into your very soul.
If need be.
Then I will hold you to that. If you come under my banner. Nods to himself. I totally actually wanted to say expect me to guess. Damn it, Bob. You turn to Charlotte. As long as your pack is proud to have this edition, I will accept it. That includes your beta, and that includes everyone. I will have no disputes. He is a child of my people's brood. Make sure he is treated well. For he not only carries my name indeed, but is also stares right at Bastion, the head tilt of the people that follow.
And he'll mirror the head tilt. Almost as if nodding back in return to the acknowledgement of his heritage. Plus, I got your gift, motherfucker. Yeah.
Like awkward shit, you know. Hard just like game recognizes the game.
Of course. That's right.
And who are these things?
Prospects.
Stares down at them.
Bastion can't help but hide the look of, "Are you crazy, woman?" that comes over himself.
I mean, if anyone gonna set him straight, God help them if Harrier decides to give him some insight. It'll be good, but it's gonna hurt.
You have proclaimed this one my Omega, but she is not my Omega. The beak literally leans down at Sylvie's like hair.
She is laying so still right now.
And it's one of those things where, she gives it a pause. Sylvie lays still and quiet. And so Charlotte answers, "She is unapproving, White Spirit."
Then she is not my Omega, for as she has proven herself, she would be my Omega. Sage nods like, I fucking said my word. You know what I mean? Staring at Charlotte, but not trying to be insulting, just very matter of factual. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Don't claim her to what she is not. I am not evil.
And so you are not. Just nod.
Nods to himself, like looking around as if, Remy sees it, as if, yeah, I just said that. Looking over probably at the Broken Snows pack area, which is the Eagle pack. Looking over there like, yeah, that's right. That's fucking right. I fucking said it.
Fucking stares at the umbral reflection of Lena's cabin. That's right.
And this one, the Cling, gesturing down at Wilhelm. It flops down right in front of Wilhelm. That's a big bird, man.
Mm-hmm.
He'll peck right over, like pop, 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 pop. Well, like, but he's so fucking regal. Will you cling to the others as you cling to your inadequacy, or will you strengthen them with your conviction?
I intend to strengthen them, mighty Harrier.
Then prove it to me when you do, and you will walk among us.
Yes, Harrier. Thank you.
Otherwise, do not waste my time.
Wilhelm nods.
Just gives a nod as if, now you got to do your shit. You know what I mean? We'll look at Sylvie. I do not accept things that claim to be what they are before they've even given the chance for it to rise. If you wish to be an omega of my followers, you must earn it and not lie down.
Yeah, Sylvia will get up.
Just turn and look at the other two pack, and look at the rest of them. Inform your pack of my ruling.
And of course, there's the nod. Very polite, very official. And Raymond will not answer for the moment because Pop has had to hop up.
And it just flies off. Like, good. Nobody else has anything to say to me. I'm out. You know what I mean? Just flies.
And yeah, she lets him go flap off, do his Harrier shit somewhere roughly in the vicinity, I suppose, whatever the case may be. Picks a fight with Eagle and Hawk. Fucking three-way showdown. And meanwhile, Charlotte will kind of glance to Wilhelm and Sylvie, see how they're processing. Because Harrier's insight is fucking terrifyingly on point, but it's always right.
Wilhelm, for his part, is looking like this was just the coolest thing that he's ever experienced. And then he looks over at Charlotte. Hey, Raya.
Yes.
I just got advice from a spirit.
It's finally that faint little smile. So you did? I hope you'll take it to heart.
Of course. It's just about the coolest thing that's happened to me today. Yeah.
Speaking of spiritual matters, we're going to play a fun game. Is everyone ready for a fun game?
I get the distinct feeling you're being sarcastic.
Absolutely. Everyone who's had a terrifying nightmare in the last 2 nights, raise your hand.
Wilhelm raises his hand.
So does Raimi, just to play along with his own bullshit game.
There's a begrudging but slight lift of the hand. And then everyone stares at Sylvie.
Yeah, Sylvia's hand goes up.
So, as he puts his hand down, I'm not a Theurge, but usually when a bunch of us have our sleep disturbed out of the ordinary, all at once, there are people on this earth who would call that dangerous and prophetic and worthy of mention.
The question is, did we all have the same dream? Or did we have different ones?
Hmm.
I doubt it.
As do I. It's worth keeping an eye on. Yes?
Did yours? She's kind of glancing among all three. Did any of yours have to do with the spiral pack?
No.
No, Raya. Mine had
No,
to
Raya.
do with me either lifting up somebody or dragging them down.
Yeah, bros kind of pop like, oh,
And then, of course, you all heard Harrier mention that exact same thing. So, you know, if that didn't drive the dream home, the point of my dream home, then, well,
Um. Okay, moving on. Common theming. Did anyone's dreams involve aspects of the Great Wolf himself?
Yes.
no.
Same. No?
Well, it did. It did briefly touch on. Well,
the great wolf himself roared at me, growled at me, literally told me that I could either drag this entire pack down or lift them up. Which one do I want to be? And then that's when I woke up.
I didn't see the wolf himself, but I did see a banner.
I heard their howls.
So did I.
And through the pack link to Charlotte, I saw the crown of the star fallen.
Yeah, she echoes back. I saw the banner of the Dread Wolf.
If the prophecy's anything to go by, either I will help lead the Starfallen back to glory, or I'll kill us all.
And she'll glance to Sylvie and briefly say this through the link before re-engaging vocally, but I think mine was a warning not to become the things that I loathe. Sylvie, was there any particular trend or clear lesson to yours? Wilhelm's makes a lot of sense.
There was the ritual of the Blood Eagle was being performed on a wolf. Locked in chains while the dread wolf howled in the distance, and beyond it there was a larger wolf in broken chains, watching silently. Free and respected. The way I would interpret it, I could be any one of those three.
As horrifying as they sound, mine was a reminder of the things that I've been fighting. The realization that all it takes is one click to become.
Was bound in chains, heading towards a goal, and Fenris's wisdom howled, and the dread wolf howled in response. There was a crow on my shoulder, which could be any number of things beyond what we're all thinking.
There was a crow on yours too.
Yes. A bit of insight here. Crows have had a great deal of significance to the get of Fenris throughout our history. They're givers of wisdom.
The one in mine was pecking at my hand. Did either of you? Kind of glancing at the other two to see if the crow is at least a running thing.
There's also another small detail that I'm perhaps should tell you. They're also associated with the great betrayer, Odin.
I liked the other version better. It just kind of looks over like, why you gotta do me like this?
Odin himself was. Some people and some beings gather wealth, some gather power. Odin gathered wisdom from the outset. And one day his lust for wisdom made him the betrayer.
Oh.
He would do anything to acquire knowledge, no matter how forbidden. And it twisted him. First among the Aesir, and first among their ignoble ranks. Loki garners mixed opinions. He was a trickster, yes, but one also has to consider that he is Great Fenris's father.
It was a really good roll. I don't want it.
Good again. So Remy's talking there, Charlotte. You're just this thing and this thing and this thing.
Yeah, she's just listening and going, oh, I don't like this version. Can we go back to the other versions?
Probably the chin nestles on your shoulder, so your scars mirror each other. They say Odin also took the knowledge and chained the Dreadwolf up, so when he came out, he was full of hateful fury, so he would fall. But he didn't fall, did he?
Where am I even seeing that?
Right in your ear.
Oh, I'm just hearing it. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Charlotte's gonna roll a thing real fast so that she doesn't make the stupidest face known to man. And roll some manip sub. I will totally let people compete against it. That's only 3 successes.
I'll go for it.
Feel free to peony the Adrian.
Well, just ties.
So close, Raimi. So fucking danger close. Unless you have a specialty that would pop.
I don't. I'm mostly on those sweet Harrier steroids. That's where the
Perception
bulk of my
Harrier.
dice comes.
Perception Harrier, yeah.
Specialty Harrier. Sees your
No,
shit.
I haven't been a good boy and bought my forethought and empathy yet. I'm just
Specialty
on.
the bitch in you.
I'm just on straight up Harrieroids right now, no specialties.
You're welcome to roll
Specialty.
2, Nick, if you like.
I just have the one.
But you know, as she's looking around, and the figure will, wrap the disfigured face right up against Charlotte. After all, tell them you're mad, Charlotte, that you hear things. I'm sure they'll think that's fine.
I just threw the link the most carefully composed voice. Have you seen anything besides the dreams, Rami?
It's a good question, Tornahazi.
No. Oh, really?
My wife's mad at me. That's about it.
Yep, Charlotte just stands there with her hallucination and...
Why do you ask?
I'm sure he'll understand, Charlotte. After all, they won't start thinking you're exactly like me.
Because I'm pretty sure I'm not asleep right now.
That is very vague. Please be exact with me, Raya.
The thing that I didn't want to turn into, the warning that dream gave me, is standing in front of me and touching me and speaking to me.
Okay, Raya. Well,
She'll feel a little bit of the skin crawl. Like, I feel like it's just gonna come through the Packlink voice. Like, there's composing your fucking physical attributes, but then there's also composing your mind when you're like, ha 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 ha, you won't be right, I'm right.
okay, Raya. Believe it or not, these kind of things aren't necessarily uncommon in the nation. What we need to determine is whether or not this is simply a product of your mind, or this is something more spiritual in nature, or both. We're going to have to privately reach out to our allies about this.
Patema starts cackling. So you can hear her, like it Charlotte in your ear.
Yep. Oh god. I'm gonna make a fresh roll because that is. If I'm gonna slip, this is the time to do it because having that thing right there cackling like a real person in your ear is, enough to actually not knock down the successes. Okay. Actually, no, I'm gonna raise her diff, so it's
Don't
just
you whisper in your ear? Sign number 1. How long before they find out? Look at him. He's already thinking it.
You know what? Yeah, that's if people want a freshly peony. That is only one success this time because I'm raising my own diff. That is hard to hide, especially when you're trying really hard not to respond to a thing that nobody else can see. Because she wants to denounce it, but if she starts talking to herself, it's going to look really, really unfortunate. She's
What a cha.
Oh boy.
Oh, Remy, Jesus Christ, that woman. The paranoia level off that her face.
Like, you can practically see her skin crawling on top of it. It's, ooh. Ooh.
Look at me. Look at me.
The eyes foot over.
This is no different than a war wound. Whether it be a scar on your face, some lost digits, or a broken leg.
Is he speaking
is
out loud,
just-
by the way?
No,
Okay,
no.
important
fuck
distinction for the other people in the scene.
No. This is just another wound. There will be a way to deal with it. We just have to reach out to our friends and see if we can manage it without some opportunistic fuck invoking tenets of the litany that's going to get guns drawn and everybody looking at each other. Okay, but we're pack. We'll deal with it.
she kind of sucks in the breath, just the slow, totally calming. I'm not panicking. Pull in the breath. Nods, glances to Sylvie.
That's not Sylvie.
Oh, she actually, you know what? I'm not going to roll for it. She glances to Sylvie and sees Cassie. She's going to stumble back a step in sheer shock. That one she wasn't expecting.
It just happens for a split second. Like you blink and then it's back to Sylvie again.
And like Sylvia's hand is on your Raya.
Yeah,
Raya,
there's
are you-
that half second head shake after the blink. Okay, no, I'm fine.
maybe
But
we should go back to the other side.
Sylvie, are you able to? God, tell me it's not coming back.
I don't know, Katie. I haven't said anything.
You just fucking killing me with your zoom in. Yeah, it's funny because for a second, she blinks, she looks at Sylvie. Okay, it's Sylvie, but when she starts talking, it's one of those things where she's kind of uncomfortable even looking at Sylvie at the moment, just because she kind of half expects it to happen again. Are you able to determine if there is meddling using spirits, the person's dreams or thoughts?
Not easily, but I probably could.
If you can determine the appropriate spirit to call on to check. Oh, let me know. I will pay the chiminage.
And to be perfectly honest, Raya, just based on what you've all told me, I think this is over my head.
It may
I
be that a cluster of prophetic dreams like this, we may need to reach out.
I don't know if I would bring it to the right master just yet, but a more experienced Theurge like Lily would probably be able to give more insight than I can right now.
There's a nod, and she is, again, going to try to compose herself because the Walkman is eerie, but it's something she can at least roll against. Much better. She seems, at least, to pull herself back together. Nods. I will do so, and I will expect that if any of you perceive something outside of dreams, bring it either through me or to the same Theurge.
Yes, Raya, I will do so.
Yes, Raya.
I will. I'm going to study what you've told me about your dreams. I see common themes.
Do you? Each one seems to be some sort of personal form of warning. Up until a moment ago, I might have said they were almost beneficial in that they give us a chance to see and account for any personal weaknesses.
You're here, Cassie. Maybe you're assessing your own and we're just in your head.
A prophetic dream isn't always good or bad. Sometimes it just is. For me, it seems to be pointing to what I can be. I see the recurring themes of the dreadwolf howling, chains, both locked and broken. The crow. I think it's too much to be a coincidence. It could be. If this isn't outside meddling, it could be an attempt at a warning from a particular spirit. Or maybe not a warning, but
What is here
a
now
glimpse.
that is different that would give a warning like this? What's changed?
What do you mean?
You think something could be giving a warning? Could be, perhaps. If that is the case, what has changed that is here now that wasn't before that could do something like that, or would?
Torna, can I get a intelligence enigmas roll for this?
Sure. Difficulty 8.
Mwah. Weston, wait. Uh, that is 2 successes.
When something of the enemy awakens, something of Gaia usually wakes up as well in response. That's all you would hear about the old stories.
In the old tales, when something of an enemy wakes up, part of Gaia responds as well.
Weirdly enough, Charlotte actually kind of slightly nods to that, like it hits a note for her. Oh, that makes sense.
If something's not directly trying to fill our heads with nonsense, my guess is what this would be.
I think I'll be having a meeting with Lily Trigvason.
We're going to Two Hoppers.
Oh, not Trigvason. Fucking Trimbuson. Jesus, names in me today. I'm sorry. Just, let's just edit that verbally. Sorry, Lily Trimbuson. I will speak to her. I will bring back what she says, given the nature of the thing. The Theurges may need to know if there are trends, or they may not. Whatever the case, I'm going to go speak to Lily. Between what Harrier has told you and what good the dreams have potentially done in awakening you to the idea that there are choices to be made and challenges to be faced, use them to prepare yourselves. But you know what the Theurge says.
Yes, Raya.
And yeah, she's composing herself up to step away for Raimi's sake, is in the link just going, I have been hearing Cassie's Walkman ever since I stepped back from Sylvie.
And then the link, this sounds like it's going to be an ongoing issue. Do you have someone you can talk to about it?
I'm going to Lily now.
That's what I would have advised. What do you want me to do in the meantime?
And she does, as she is, going to move, kind of glance back at the other three. I need you to do what Ragabash do best and help them find and face their weak points, because they can't survive this pack and they can't survive this war if they don't improve dramatically and fast. Help them.
So be it.
And as Charlotte steps off, I am going to bio real fast. Give me 1 second.
Raimi turns around. Okay, we're going back to the other side, by the way. And then I'm going to lead you somewhere. We're going to do that, okay?
Yes,
Okay.
Raya.
And Raimi goes back to the other side and walks back into the public housing and quickly goes into his room. Forgot my cigarettes. Picks up his cigarettes, walks back out. Okay, we're going. Where the fuck are we going? We are going to go. I don't think
I mean,
anybody's.
It goes without saying that we also follow. I mean,
Oh my
not to,
fuck!
but
Like it,
Tillery.
you get near the door and he stiff arms you. No Wilhelm's allowed, and fucking
Hell
goes in.
no, man! I ain't going in there. I'm standing outside of Sylvie.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I know it
Um,
would be funny if I followed you all the way in, but I mean,
I can
I
think of
don't
one
do that.
person who'd
Thank
be
you.
upset. Rami smoking a cigarette. Okay, you know what? Fuck it. Training happens in the high clearing, so that's where we're going.
Of course, Raya.
Yeah, Wilhelm just follows.
And he will not be at the training stones, but he will find a big enough rock up there for him to perch on, practically coil with his smoke. So, I'm just gonna lay this shit out like I see it. I could physically train you two to fucking death. Lord knows at least one of you needs it. And we really wouldn't be getting to the heart of what's wrong. I can fix muscles all day. I can fix bones, kind of, sort of. Your group. That's not the actual central problem with you two. Following Harrier means you're a diplomat. It means you speak with the voice of many. Nothing stronger than alliances, to be honest with you. In the old times, our forefathers, the Danes, do you know what they feared the most in battle? Losing too many men. You see, you lose too many men, you can't hold land, can you? So, diplomacy, the gathering of men, very important. And the problem with the two of you is that your foots find your mouths really fast. I mean, really fucking fast. I could go on and on about personal character and things like that, but I can't teach that. You gotta find whatever it is in you that makes you want to do things. I can, however, try to find a fucking way for you two not to talk yourselves into holes. Because that's been at the core of your fucking problems, believe it or not. Wilhelm, your situation was recoverable until you said what you did. Sylvie, you know what you said. Repeatedly.
I do, Raya.
You two need to think before you speak, before you drive me mad. That's the actual core fucking issue here. Now, before you two think that I'm just telling you to shut the fuck up, which is part of the process, think about what you can do with your silence. Because if you're not talking, you're listening, you're observing. My pet obsession is trying to understand almost everyone I deal with. Because the only real way that you're going to know what to say and what not to say is if you watch and learn. That's the main challenge for you two. I don't want you to just be observant of the land, of weapons. I want you to be observant of people, their ticks, things they tend to act on, things they don't. Almost as though you've got a Harrier Hawk's eye. Because when you know those people, you'll finally know what to say. So work on that. Don't necessarily write anything in journals, but watch. Try your best to read them and listen. So, having said all of that, let's see who we can see from here as he just reels his head around, and that's probably a good time to cut to Charlotte.
Well, okay. Yeah, Charlotte's probably heading, unless she knows that she'd be elsewhere this particular time of day, is heading to the Raven's cabin. Actually, probably just heading down to the lake, truthfully.
Lily's not at the lake.
No, she'll be glancing, but will probably at least walk with her feet in the water because it's the best way she knows to get Lily's attention if she's out.
Lily's not at the lake.
All right. Yeah, still heading to their cabin, probably transitioning over on her way there.
The door is wide open. You reckon Leaf and Maria are out doing things?
Wide open, you say?
Well, you push it open. It's not locked.
Okay. Yeah, she will take the, she'll pop open the door and take the one step in just so that she can close it instead of leaving it hanging open. We're not paying to heat the whole outdoors now, are we? So, no, she'll take the one step in and wait politely there at the door and call through the house for Lily.
No sound.
This isn't her territory anymore, and she probably shouldn't go hunting for her. Yeah, she'll take a pause and like the whole hold a breath to listen thing just to see if she's not getting an answer because Lily is doing something else.
You can hear scratching in the walls.
Scratching in the walls?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Like someone is grinding something against one of the walls.
okay. She's gonna. Yep. I'm gonna hope it's someone doing something from the outside of the wall and not scratching to get in because that would be unfortunate.
No, it is
Okay.
someone. No, it's pretty obvious.
Okay, so yeah. In that case, she will be rude and let herself in.
Sure, where you go.
Probably following the grinding noise.
You walk into the kitchen, nobody there. You walk into the sitting room. You see Lily, you can see her back exposed, the huge blood eagle tattoo twists and rides as she moves her back as she's scratching in various runes and symbols all over the place. You can see up along the stairwell, it's like a spindle, like the great serpent you are, Commander. You can see in the wall she's scratching in, with paint and with her own nails, this symbol here. And there are two key symbols right in the center of the ground are these.
Oh. That looks fine.
And yes, that woman that looks like snakes are interwoven into her hair, and that is, I think you know what that fucking is.
Yep. What's killing me is that it's snakes woven into the hair and also it's got the half dead face. That is an interesting combo there. Yeah, she will look to Lily, who I imagine is still feverishly focused on what she's doing.
Mm-hmm. Like she's whittled down her nails to the point where they're bleeding.
Jesus, is there, I mean, glancing around, is there any kind of tool that I can try to, you just subtly pass her or something? It's not like she has no idea I'm there. I yelled.
You don't know that. She's just feverishly working. Didn't even respond to you.
Yep. So she will gingerly step in.
And the symbol she's carving on, it's very similar but very different to the one Melante described. They're not trapped in the ice. It's almost like they're imbued with it.
Lily, can you even hear me right now?
The head does a slow, eerie turn. Like you even hear the neck bone.
Oh, God.
She'll look over.
Apologies, you didn't respond earlier. She's just staring eternally.
Mm-hmm.
I had hoped to bring you something, but if you are... She kind of gestures to the wall.
Can't you hear it?
You know what? She will actually pause and, again, the kind of suck in a breath and hold it and listen so even your own breathing doesn't fuck it up.
Silence.
It's quiet.
You can't hear the howl, can you?
No. Heard it since you woke up.
It's a warning.
She'll just come over and, you know what? It's not quite straight up like little kid student, but student style is coming alongside and listening and being attentive.
Means we're running out of time.
And for what?
To stop it.
Before it's born or before it comes to
Oh, it's
power?
born. Oh, it's more than born, Charlotte. It's risen. Not at full strength, but it's woken.
Do you think it's giving the same message up north?
Oh, that's not it doing that. Oh, you'd know. She reaches to touch your faces. Her blood just traces along your scar. Because let's face it, the nails are missing. She dug that hard into the wall.
Mm-hmm.
You know it's cold. You've heard it. The fractured, broken distortion, haven't you? No, this was something else. The response. For such an imbalance can't go uncorrected.
No, can't. Gonna take something ancient to fight something ancient, doesn't it?
It takes the will to do it. And this will has been lacking for a long time. If you wish to get into Sunningdale, you need to help Sylvie complete what I asked her to do.
Cave.
And nods. With that, I can make you something which will give you free passage in. The light of Lune itself.
The dreams are all warnings, aren't they?
It's not a warning. She smiles. It's a call. Each of you has a role, we all do, for Gaia's great plan. Now, you have to decide which it is.
What does it mean if we see them even after we've woken?
Just answer. She just traces the symbol so slowly.
Does she have paint to work with her fingers, or is she literally just
No.
using her blood?
Her blood.
Mm-hmm.
Which is more terrifying? Your mind knowing what's coming and trying to warn you, or Gaia? Charlotte Sullivan. Which are you more afraid of?
Only imagine what it would take for Gaia to reach out
Which
and
are
touch
you
anyone.
more afraid of? Don't imagine it. Tell me.
My own mind.
Then that's what's calling you. Gaia already gave you the message. Now your mind's too scared to know what it is. You can't hide from it now. You've hidden from it for too long. You all have.
Have you dreamed?
I've always dreamed. Ever since I was little. Of a dread wolf, slowly engulfing everything to bring the balance back. Splayed across my skin like wings. And I cast out my hand as the bones rattle, and I guide the ones who break their chains. I don't take no crown, no glory. To lean in, I am the one where they can find it.
It already knows
Knows what? About you.
what it's
It,
here to
know,
do,
it
what it
has
needs
always
to do.
it has always known. Now it is up to you and your purpose. As everybody here. Do you really think it is a base thing? No. It is more complex than you and I, these things are, than you and I ever could dream of. We can only see a fractured window of it as we gaze into the umbra.
And the way we point it in the right direction is by taking our roles.
It's by choosing them. Do you wish to be what you have always hated in order to save many? Or do you wish to be the thing you try in order to save a few worth saving? What are you willing to sacrifice? That is its question. And it does not accept stuttering for a response.
She, I'm not going to lie, she kind of balks at the idea, but I am going to read back over this.
Sure, do it.
And she, I mean, it's balking, and she thinks over what she saw, what she felt. Kind of shakes her head. She didn't. She didn't save anyone.
And who did you see?
Oh god, and this is a Trimbusan too. I saw the eyes in the dark. I saw
You, you
Patema.
said. She made her choice. Didn't she?
She did.
Then make yours. For she made hers long ago. And I know you saw her rise. I can see it in your eyes, Charlotte. I wonder what that must have been like. She takes steps towards you.
Well, he's one of the few people that she's not going to back away from. She's just going to look incredibly uncomfortable. It's going to be great.
To see such a figure of everything we stand against rise. I've seen something to that hate rise from the earth. But it was not an enemy. No. It was the very thing we guided ourselves with. But she is your enemy. So you have a choice. Make the same decision she did, or become something far more. After all, lean in. She became worse than the people who butchered her people.
She sacrificed everything to do it.
Would you do the same? If it meant you'd get revenge. As I said, what are you willing to sacrifice? That is the question. Your sanity, your soul. What are you willing to do? But do it for the right reasons. Not like she did. But I will say though, Charlotte, you liked it.
There's a bristle. It's
Power.
more uncomfortable than anything else, but
Power. It's written plain across your face. You know, you and my mother are not so different. Fundamentally. Maybe that is why you hate each other. Except she realizes it. And you deny it.
it all comes down to the reason, doesn't it?
It all comes to how honest you are with yourself. Make the choice. There's no more waiting. Pats your cheek and we'll go back to her paintings.
Yep. She just sucks in the breath. Find some measure of resolve to nod and get herself out.
Did you want any deer?
I will do one tiny thing more and go hunting for Raimi and the other two.
Okay.
Probably just pinging Raimi to figure out where and what side they're on.
Tellurian, High Clearing.
Yeah, Charlotte comes by, just it's honestly it's the business face. Just comes up to look between the three of them, whatever else they may have been doing, saying. Waits a pause for it to stop. We need to prepare to go into that cave. Because we can't face a number of things that we need to do one by one until we take that first step, and the first step is that cave. Sylvie, make the talons.
Okay, Ray.
Enough for all of us. Make sure that you share whatever you do know about what we're going to face in there, and we are going to gear up. And as soon as you have enough, we're going to go.
Yes, Ray.
Glances to the other two.
Very well.
Yes, Raya.
I'll be in my cabin if you need me. Well, pardon. I'll be in Freya's cabin if you need me.
Yes, Ray.
There's a brisk nod, and she's going to march off. Try to figure out how one makes a market decision. Would the rest of you like to do anything else?
Nothing. Torna kind of signaled the cutoff point. I'm good.
Yep, same here.
All right, then we will call it a scene. Thank you, players, for playing, watchers for watching, and thank you, ST, for making it freaky deaky.